Hi, I'm Kirby Allison. In part 2 in our series on Chittleborough Morgan, Joe Morgan is able to walk me through the workshop to show various aspects of their bespoke construction process. Chittleborough Morgan has an incredibly young team that is very talented and doing some absolutely exceptional work. One of the things that impresses me most is their absolute commitment to the craft and the incredible work that they're able to produce. I hope you enjoy this visit.
Birgit here, who's from Estonia, is our apprentice coat maker, but she's working on a waistcoat today, and she's padded the inside here to create, again, a shape that will fit very, very, very nicely on the body shape. So this tends to give us control. We take a front side dart out here and a chest dart from here.
And you can really see the shape of the garment whenever...
Oh yes, yes indeed. This is the jacket is plain, so we have again the same Irish linen, the horsehair and the damet. And for this gentleman, we want control on the front side, on the chest, and we have a neck cut here, so it's going to build a little bit of chest there. But that's the element of our canvas, and the cloth will mirror that canvas on there when it goes on there. We would use like a running stitch from here and create a shortness in the armhole. But the other big ingredients here is we put a puff in our shoulders. So that gives us control in the right in the collar and the neck. That gives us a nice straight spring out shoulder. So it gives that sharp shoulder line that we really want for our gentleman. Yeah. This is the essence of our jacket. So consequently, and waistcoat. And from the paper pattern, from the cutting out, which you saw in the front, this is the next stage to create the fitting. And this is really important that the fitting is put together correctly. And this is where it comes with the disciplines that we have from our young people. Yeah, these strips are the strips that we cut off and put on these elements through here. And these are cut. So they're cut in, and that's cut in, and we cover this with lining just to protect the gentleman, just in case it sticks in him. So it's really very important. All these structures are finely covered up. It's very, very important. And this silicea here is a little bit of an additive because we want our lapels to roll. We don't want them to be flat. We want them to roll, and we'll illustrate that just in a moment. This is our model. This is a thick model, but it gives you the concept of how they go together. So this is, again, it has a cloth back that you can wear with trousers or a sports jacket. So you can see this canvas on the inside is on here. So it shapes within the body, and it's close on the armhole, not too deep, again quite high. And we like it to fit reasonably well. But in essence, it's a waistcoat that you wear with a jacket, but if you wish, you can wear it with a pair of jeans or a trouser, and you've got all these lovely pockets to put ingredients in. So that's the concept of our traditional waistcoat. Sometimes if you have something that's quite close, it's like with our top coats. If you look on the inside, you'll see that we put small flat buttons on the inside. Consequently, so the buttons do not pull off. So they're really on quite rigid. But this is a natural horn button, and we have them polished. So they're just that little bit different. And we're putting a lot of these buttons on our blue suits. Because gentlemen now, once upon a time, for me, you'd go into a shoe shop and you'd see black shoes, and then you'd have a pair of brown brogues or a pair of brown suede shoes. That was it. Now you go into a shoe shop and you think, well, where are the black dress Oxfords? Because everything's brown. And you think, my goodness, this is what happens with demands of new generations coming along, wanting more from their product. And we've had ladies in here saying, my son's not going to wear brown shoes for his wedding suit. Well, okay, well we can talk about this, which is really important. So the whole concept of dressing does alter, and I think one must really be part of that. Right, if I may, let me introduce you to Reza, who's our apprentice tailor. He's our coat maker extraordinaire, and what we're working on here is a Loro Piana Daydream tweed sports jacket. And again, the whole idea of this structure is that you can see from the canvases that we've just looked at that they give this like chest element. I'm thinking of the fact that this gentleman has a 50-inch waist. It's something that we try and stylize the jacket so it looks good on him and it hits the waistline and gives a good, nice, strong shoulder line. So the whole idea is that we create this width of lapel however we wish, whether we want to make it a little bit wider or narrower, depending on how the gentleman wants to feel and look. But we have this nice and flat here, but we have this rolling. This is very, very good to us, and that's really important that the structure has like a creative flow, and it's really very important. So that's where our button will be. This will roll just slightly to the top of that, but you can see the line that we're creating here.
And this is that roll created? I mean, is that?
Well, we work very hard at that. It's one of our sort of parts of our signature pieces with all the others that we don't get it flat like so, which is, there's nothing wrong with that, and I think lots of people and companies, tend to sort of work that way, but we don't. We find that we want this elegance of line and structure that the whole thing glows through. It is. It's a good word for that. It's a really very, very good word.
And I love seeing the basting stitching on the jacket because it kind of really helps you visualize the dimensionality to it, right?
Oh, indeed, most definitely.
To kind of see that flow. You take that out and it kind of just disappears into the garment.
Yes.
You notice it, but subconsciously, but seeing, the basting in there, while the jacket's being made up, I think really helps illuminate that.
It's very important to us that, and again, that you recognize these things because this is not necessarily ornate, it's there for a reason. And Reza has put the fabric onto the canvas, and these stitches here, these basting stitches, are attaching it to the canvas. So when you saw the structure of the canvas just previously, we've got the same structure, but now we've made this cloth glow by putting it onto that canvas. So you can see that movement there, which is going to be in the character of the gentleman's shape. And that's really what we're about, isn't it? With our strength of make and control from the cloth, the canvas, into a style that we'd like to work with.
And that's why construction is so important, because this same pattern and the same fabric would look a lot more, it would look different, completely different, if the foundations of the canvas was made differently than what it is now. And I think that's one of the that's when the art of tailoring comes in, is when you actually can visualize and create a structure that would eventually be the face of the jacket. It's the same with humans. I mean, we've all got the same bones, flesh and skin, but just because it's made and structured differently, even though it's covered with the same material, it's completely different. And okay, by chance you might get two people the same, but it's never the same. It's always different.
Your people that go to your sort of, or you make aware of this is a craft, and you can, your people can do it. You can be taught to do it, and it's not sort of magical. It is magical because it's unfair because these people are very talented, but it's something you can be taught and you can do. But it's the best as it gets. This is what at the moment, this is the best that we can do, and it's very rewarding for the young people to think, well, this is what we've created, and but it's a craft. Anybody in the world that's taking your guidance can do that. And I think that's really what.
But there is a talent to seeing it all come together.
Oh, yes,
not to diminish that.
Yes.
I mean, just the shape here is unbelievable.
I must say that in addition to what Joe says, this craft and the magic of it, I think it's not only a craft and a magic, it's also, especially in times of now, it's a message as well, because a lot of these things are disappearing, and they are disappearing for a number of reasons, and one of them is simply cheaply made clothes. And cheaply made clothes are actually most of the time produced in factories where you have machines designed to do the jobs that a tailor usually would do. So for example, you would have machines that put sleeves in, which is actually, the machine itself is, I would say, is a masterpiece designed by a human, but it is still designed by a human. And that just shows how amazing people are.
Yeah.
And I think crafts in general, not only tailoring, or tailoring to some extent, because it directly is related to your lifestyle and you as a character, could save society at some point, because as the sooner society knows that buying stuff and throwing it away two weeks later is not a good thing, the better we're off as a planet.
Yeah.
I would say so.
And remember, all these fabrics that we use, they're all biodegradable.
Exactly.
You know, if you, this is not going to flare up and catch a light. This is just going to glow with an ember. If you were to take our clothes and think, oh, okay, what we're going to do as an experiment, let's bury this thing. It would distribute over the period of time. There's nothing plastic. It's all, the body breathes through it, which is really very important. It's so full of natural ingredients.
I think there's a consciousness just to the garment.
Yeah.
And then, you know, on top of that, you know, we live in a society of like thoughtless disposability.
Yes.
You know, and so slowing down and saying, I'm going to have less of something, but of a higher quality.
Exactly.
And I think, you know, something created by people with whom you have a relationship is really such an important piece of the garment. I mean, George Glasgow cleverly was, you know, describing how a customer came in. He said, look, you know, there's like 5 pieces of the pie. You have your tailor, your shoemaker, your shirt maker, your dentist, and your doctor. And if any one of those, and your barber, and you know, but those are the relationships that I feel like, you know, create the foundation of a gentleman's, you know, life. And you know,
very profound.
I think what's so special about a garment like this is the fact that, you know, you've put so much of your energy into it. And hopefully, for whomever you're making this, you know, he's come around and he knows you and he's seen, you know, what you're doing, and you know him, and you know, and I think that's beautiful. And you know, if you can learn to take care of something, you can afford to invest in something of quality.
Nice stuff.